Good morning. This is Christine. It's January 21st, 2015. It's in the morning. I just got up a little bit ago. I had another dream last night. I'm going to call it Moving Day. It actually starts back in the same place where my other video left off. My other video was through the floorboards. We were moving. We were in that office. There was four of us. There was a head lady, like a leader lady. She was one in charge. And then there was two other girls, and then there was me. And we had to move everything from that office, the desks, the supplies, everything like that, to a different location. And when we got, we were packing, I saw everybody packing things up. For some reason I feel like there were more of us, but there was only like the four that kind of stood out in my mind's eye. Everyone else was just like a group of people that were working. We ended up in the other building, and the lead lady, she would give me a job or an assignment. I would take off, go do it, come back, and then she'd give me another job or assignment. I'd go back, I'd go and do it and come back. It seemed almost like I was the runner, I just did whatever she needed done. The other two girls, I didn't talk to them. They're all women, like ladies, so they weren't actually girls, they were women. But the other two, I never spoke to them, and I was never really around them. It's almost like they came into the building and just automatically started doing their job, whatever they needed to do. And it was unpacking everything from the other building and then setting up everything on the desks, like pen holders. And I saw, like those big pens with a blue lid, a red lid, a black lid. There were black and yellow markers in there. It was just like a black tall cup holder with pens in it. There were two of them. There were paper trays, like those black plastic trays that you can put papers in, and you can stack them on top of each other and have 3 or 4 stacks. Phones were being plugged in and set up. The two women, they had been packing everything up and then moving things over into the into boxes, and then they were unpacking everything, and they were setting up all the desks. And it was a huge, big room, and it was a combination of a restaurant and an office. It's like, here's the big room, and there were windows here, so there were windows here, so you could see the sunshine. It was coming in, it was filling up the whole room. This is the desk. This is where, she was over here and I was over here, and then I would run to wherever she gave me a job. There were desks over here, and the other two women were like, they were just all over. One was here, and they were just setting up the desk. They were cleaning out the boxes of everything that had been packed from the other office, and they were setting up the desks and the phone lines, and making sure everything was running, and the printer was in office. But then around here, and even like on an angle, there were restaurant tables. It was tables for like 4 and 6 people, and then there was a lamp up top, so that when you go to a restaurant, there's a lamp that's over the table, so you have light on your dinner table. And I want to say it's kind of like a Perkins. It was a family style restaurant, It was like a Perkins or an Applebee's or something like that, but it was a family style restaurant. And that's why the tables were 4 and 6, because it was for like a whole family to sit down and eat. So this was the restaurant part, and then this was the office part, and it was all both of them were in one big room. So we kept working. It was pretty much the 4 of us. The 2 women, they were doing their own thing. As soon as they walked into the building, they just got busy unpacking boxes and setting up tables. And then I was with the manager lady, and she was just telling me, what needed to be done. And then, like I said, I went and did it, and I came right back for another assignment. And none of us talked. We all 4 of us, we worked like a well-oiled machine. It was just beautiful how everybody knew their job, everybody had a place, and it just was smooth sailing the whole day. Everything, just got done. Nobody talked, nobody complained. We weren't goofing off and laughing, but we weren't, miserable or anything like that. It was just a contentment, a very nice, smooth contentment. And we just all worked together very nicely. The manager lady she was very nice, actually, in giving me my assignments, and I was the type who wanted to please, so she and we worked together very well, actually. And then at the end of the day, it was still daylight outside, but you could tell that the sun was starting to go down, because we had started early in the morning, and we had this whole room to set up with restaurant tables and chairs and desks and office equipment and stuff like that. There really wasn't anybody else in there. It was like opening up a shop or opening up a restaurant, and you don't have customers in there when you're first setting it up. So towards the end, the manager lady went off and did her own thing, and she was still in the room, kind of like the center of the room. And then I was over here, and the other 2 ladies were over here, and they were talking. The one lady on the left was talking to the lady on the right, but it's like this. The one lady on the left was talking to the lady on the right. They were kind of like a diagonal. And then I was over here by myself, which I don't know why, but these 2 were working together pretty much the whole day, because they were setting up all the tables and stuff. So they were kind of a partner for that day, and then I was more or less a partner with her. But she was talking to her, but she was looking at me, almost like to say, "Are you listening in to our conversation?" It's like she wanted me to overhear the conversation. And she was talking about this restaurant that she wanted to go to, wanted to eat at. She didn't really want to eat at this restaurant. First of all, this one hadn't even been opened yet. This was an empty room when we started moving in all the furniture, the restaurant furniture, and all the office desks and equipment, printer, phone, stuff like that. So this room was just like a big, open, empty warehouse type of a room. It was just completely empty. So, she obviously you couldn't eat in here because nothing else had been set up yet. But she was talking about this restaurant. It was a restaurant in the mall, which made me think that this might have been located in a mall area also, where there would have been a lot of people eventually coming in. It was a good location. And she kept saying she wanted to go eat at that restaurant. And I knew that if you walked out of here, like out of this building, office, or something like that, there was a hallway, and this hallway actually led to the mall, which was you know, like right here. So this was actually bigger, you know, because the mall is big, but it actually, so you just follow it. You just follow it out. So this was not far away from the mall. So what I thought to myself was, if these two want to, like, go to dinner, because I was just, I mean, I'm not the boss. It's the boss who gives privileges and stuff like that, but I just, as I was working with this, like manager, leader lady, you know, doing her errands for her, I was watching these two, like, throughout the room, because they were moving throughout the room throughout the course of the day, you know, depending on where the tables or where the desks were, and then they were just setting them up. So they were moving throughout the room all day, setting up everything. And I was watching them, and I saw how, you know, neither of them were talking. They were both, like, at different spots, and they were both doing their own job, just like I was doing my own job. But the four of us, and all four of us doing our own job, we were all also getting the job done. You know, if each person had their own duty. And because of that, I was impressed with these two, and I wanted to do something nice and something special for them. So I knew what restaurant they were talking about, and it was like another Perkins style restaurant. I do remember the name of it because she said the name several times, like 3-4 times, when she was talking to this lady. She said it several times, and when she was looking at me, it was almost like she wanted me to pay attention to the name. And I remembered it even when I woke up, but now that I'm doing the video, I'm hoping the Lord will bring it back to me. But I knew what restaurant she was talking about, and it was also in the mall over here. So what I wanted to do was go get $20 gift certificates for each of them, for the manager and for these two women, because they had been working all day and they were probably hungry, and there was nothing to eat here because this is still, you know, this room had just been set up with furniture. We didn't have any way to cook or anything yet, so there was no way to eat. But I figured that they were probably both, you know, all three of them were hungry because they had worked so hard. So I wanted to go to the restaurant that she kept talking about, that she wanted to go to this lady. She was talking to her. And I wanted to go get 3 $20 gift certificates because I figured for dinner, I figured $20 was enough for one meal. You know, like somebody could get an appetizer, a salad, a main meal, soup, drinks, coffee, whatever you wanted, and still be able to leave a tip for the waitress. So I figured $20 was a good amount for one person for their meal. And for some reason $80 came into my mind. I mean, if I was just going to get it for the 3, that would have been $60. So I'm assuming now that because I was willing to spend $80, that one of those $20 gift certificates was for me. Maybe all 4 of us were going to go eat together. But yeah, that was my dream. And then I woke up. So, you know, we didn't go to eat, but I did manage to get those gift certificates and to give them to each lady, because I was just really impressed with how they worked. Kind of nose to the grindstone type of thing, but just very pleasant, very content. Everybody knew their job and they just went straight to it. I don't know how these 2 women knew their jobs, because I didn't speak to them the whole day. You know, the first time I heard them is when she was talking to her, but she was looking at me wanting me to overhear her conversation. So I didn't really have anything to do with these two, except that all four of us were working in the same room. I was talking mainly with this one. She was giving me, in a kind, loving way, she was giving me instructions, and then I was going and doing what needed to be done. And then I was coming back to her for my next task. And that's what I did all day. I just was her runner, pretty much. And these two women, I don't know how they got their job assignments. If the manager lady spoke to them beforehand, like when we were at the previous building, and maybe she just spoke to them and gave them their instructions, and that's how they knew what to do, because as soon as we stepped into this building, everybody just went to their own jobs. And there was no goofing around. There was, no yelling or anything. Everybody was just quiet, peaceful, did their job, knew what needed to be done, got it done. And at the end of the day, when the sun started going down, we had finished everything. This whole warehouse room was set up with restaurant tables in different directions. Okay, so this whole building had tables for eating, family style, again, it was like a Perkins, and it also had office desks in it with phones, paper, printer, filing trays, and the reason I know that there were pen and pencil holders is these two women, they had set them up on the desk, and the phone was on the left side of the desk, and then the paper trays were on the right side, and then they had put two pencil like pen and pencil holders, the big black cups. They were kind of like a vinyl black cup. It was nice. And the pencils and the black and the red and the blue pens and the black and the yellow markers and everything was in there. And there were two of them on the desk, and one of them I moved over towards the printer, and then the other pencil holder I moved up a little bit in front of the paper trays, because when I walked past the table, I accidentally bumped one of the desks, and the pencil holder almost fell over with the pen and pencils in it, which would have been a mess. So that's how come I know the pencil holders were theirs, because I moved them up, two in front of the paper trays, and then one over to by the telephone, because if somebody else was to walk by and accidentally bump the desk, I didn't want the same thing to happen to them that almost happened to me, where I knocked over, where I almost, I didn't because I caught it, but I almost knocked over the pen and pencil holders, and then they would have gone all over the desk and it would have been a mess. So that's how come I know pen and pencil holders were there, because I almost knocked them over, and then I moved them further into the desk so that they wouldn't get knocked over if somebody else actually accidentally walked past and bumped the desk also. But yeah, that was my dream last night. So I again don't know what it means. I don't know if it really even matters. I don't have to know everything. I just have to walk in faith, and just let God lead, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what any of this stuff means, but it was moving day. In the dream, we moved from the old office into this new office. So the restaurant tables, getting ready to seat people for food, and the office desks for clerical work are set up. Nobody and nothing else is in there yet. It's not active. It's just been set up by the four of us. Okay, that's all. Thanks a lot. Take care. God bless and have a great day. Bye-bye.